Hi everyone, we are live. It is 5. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. How is everyone? Say hi, let me know where you're from. If you don't know who I am, my name is Cheryl Hadger. I'm a cleaning business coach and also a maid service owner. I hail from Boston, Massachusetts, or the area of Boston, Mass. Say hi and wherever you are from. We're going to get started. In a few minutes tonight, we're going to be talking about why your cleaners keep quitting. So like I said, my name is Cheryl. I am the founder of Sisters Who Scale. This page where we don't sugarcoat anything and we teach you exactly what it takes to build a cleaning business that runs without you in it every single day. I built my own company, Made Bright, to over 850, approaching 900,000 in revenue, and I did it as a solo cleaner. Not all of the income, but I started as a solo cleaner. I was mopping floors, I was booking clients, and I was trying to figure out why my business kept falling apart. So if you are new here, welcome. You are in the right place. Hit that subscribe button now, because every single week I drop a training. I call it Live at 5, and it is on everything to do with your cleaning business, whether it be sales, whether it be leadership, whether it be hiring, firing, and growing your revenue. So if you've been here before, you already know I give a rip the band-aid off approach. We do not play small on this channel. Today's training, it's one that's been sitting with me for a while, and it's the truth, and it's going to make some of you uncomfortable, and you're going to cringe, but I need you to stay with me. Hi, Christina. How are you? Colorado Springs. I need you to stay with me during this training. Some people watch this live. Some people watch it on replay. So it might be a little discomfortable for the next 30 minutes, but that is how you grow. That is where the breakthrough lives. Okay, so in this training, I'm not going to show you the real reason your cleaners keep quitting. It's not the pay, it's not the schedule, and it's not the economy. So you can stop wasting money on recruiting, stop starting over every 3 months, and finally build a team that actually stays. And that is how you grow your revenue. It doesn't necessarily mean more leads all the time. It means great quality, great staff, and that's how your business will grow in a very, very healthy way, right? Here's what no one is telling you. Your hiring problem is not a hiring problem. It's a you problem. And that's the rip the band-aid off thing. Today, we're going to fix that. Okay, so let me open the wound. Let me paint you a picture. You post a job for staff. You get 40 applications. Awesome. You interview 10, 15, 20 maybe. You hire 5. You train them, you send them out to go out there. 2 weeks later, one of the texts at 6 a.m. comes to your phone, okay? Hey, I can't make it today. That's a staff call out, 6 a.m. And then nothing, no explanation, no callback. They just vanished, right? Another one. She was great. Her first couple weeks, the clients loved her. You finally exhale. You're like, whew, I can breathe a little bit for the first time in months. And then week 3, she starts calling out. Week 4, she's not telling you why she's calling out. In week 5, she is gone. A month, not even a month and a half, right? A month and a week, okay? That third person you hired goes to work for your competitor for 50 cents more an hour. Does that sound familiar? Raise your hand if that sounds familiar. Now, you're not unlucky, you're not cursed, and your town is not full of lazy people. Let me repeat, your town is not full of lazy people. What is happening to you is happening to almost every single cleaning business owner who has not figured out what I'm about to teach you, okay? So the cycle that is draining you. Here's what most owners do. If they lose a cleaner, they panic. They're like, oh my God, I can't cover the schedule. They post the job immediately. Desperation hire. They hire fast because they have clients waiting and they don't want to make the clients wait. They do a rushed training. The new person struggles to grasp the system or lack thereof, which could be happening. The clients complain. The new person feels like a failure, and then they quit. And then you're back to square one, doing it all over again. You're even more exhausted, you're more frustrated, and you're more convinced that good help doesn't exist. Okay? So you start saying things like, nobody wants to work anymore. I cannot find reliable people. Who said that? Or who said this? I'm just going to do it myself. Who has said, I'm just going to do it myself? Write in the chat that you've said, I'm going to do this myself, because I read everyone and I want to see who's actually saying that. Hello from Parker. Gymnast, artist, anything in between. Gymnast, artist, anything in between. Do you have a name? Hello from Parker, Colorado. So 2 people from Colorado. Do you guys know each other? Christina, is that your partner? Hi, Bright Power Wash. I like the pink hand. Bright Power Wash is Jay, my husband, so everyone knows. So okay, the moment you say, "I'll just do it myself," is the moment you put the nail in the coffin. You have officially built yourself a job, not a business, and no amount of hiring will fix that until you fix what's underneath. Okay? Let's talk about what's actually happening. I want to talk about 3 things that are driving you absolutely crazy, and I want to call them out by name. Okay, number 1, the ghost. This is the person who applies, interviews well, you offer them the job, they say yes, they take the job, and day 1, they never show up, right? That's happened to me. That has happened to me a lot. No text, no call, nothing. You're texting them, you're calling them, ghost, not answering you. You're standing in your kitchen at 7 a.m. in disbelief, holding them up and holding the schedule. And you're like, here I go. I got to go out and do it again, right? So now you're not just short a cleaner at that moment. You're short a cleaner, and you have to go clean the job yourself. And you have to explain to your client why their house may or may not get done in the same time frame, or maybe you need to reschedule them, right? This is going to happen. It's going to happen until you figure out the people part, right? The owners that have started hiring 2 people for every 1 spot just to cover the ghost rate. That is more normal than you think it is. We do that, right? Let that sink in. It does happen, right? You are doubling your recruitment work to compensate for a problem that has nothing to do with the applicants. Nothing to do with the applicants. Everyone that is applying for a job wants a job. They want a job. If they interview with you and they say, I have plenty of cleaning experience, I love to clean, the hours work for me, and then they come and they work for your company 1 or 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they ghost you, there is something that you did wrong. And that's a hard pill to swallow, okay? It could be lack of systems. It could be lack of hours. It could be you look like you don't know what you're doing, which is more often than not, believe it or not, right? So if getting back to when people ghost you before day 1, you have not built enough of a relationship in your hiring process for them to feel accountable to you. That is not their fault, right? That is a gap in your process. That is the ghost. Number 2 is the quitter. This is the one who makes it past the first week. Okay, maybe even the first month, 30 days. The first 30 days are like dating. You invest your time in them. You train them. You start rushing them with your clients, and then something shifts. They start being flaky. Hours become inconsistent. Excuses stack up. Your quality drops. The clients start calling you and complaining, and eventually they quit. The clients give up and they say, you know what? I'm going to go with the other service down the road, right? So you tell yourself they were not a good fit. That's how you rationalize. So we've all rationalized that at one point like that, because it's easier to point the finger than hold up a mirror. Okay. Most cases, what changed is that reality set in, that they had no one guiding them through the process of training and learning your system. You didn't check in with them. You didn't correct them, and then they got a complaint, right? Totally. Nobody made them feel in your company that they were growing inside of your company. So they just felt like a body doing a job. They didn't feel part of a team, and they were not a person building a future. So they left. So they left. Okay. This is a kick in the gut, right? I know. I totally get that. I get it because it feels like you're on a hamster wheel of people, right? It feels like you're on a hamster wheel of hiring, them disappearing, or hiring or firing or something like that. Okay. Now, number three is the worst. The three is when they come to work for you and then they go to work for your competitor for like 50 cents more. Like this one hurts. This one keeps owners up at night. And this is when you realize that you're doing something wrong, right? You trained her, you invested in her, you gave her clients, your systems, your trust, and she left to go work for someone else, right? This sucks when this happens. And your first reaction is anger. You feel betrayed. After everything I did for her, I know I've been there, but I want you to sit with this uncomfortableness for a second. If 50 cents or $1 an hour was enough to make her leave, what was she getting from you that was worth less than $1 an hour? Because it was not the money she was chasing. It was something she was not getting from you and from your company to make her stay. Recognition, a growth pattern. Maybe you weren't giving her clear expectations. Maybe she wasn't feeling valued. Maybe she wasn't feeling like her work didn't matter. Maybe you didn't, pat her on the back. Tell her good job, right? $1 bought what you were not providing for free, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Let me see. Anyone else? Hi, Ellie. How are you? How are you? Glad to see you. All right. So this is the part that no one else is going to say to you about hiring and firing people. Okay. This is where I need you. I want everyone to put their defensiveness down. I want you to put it on a shelf for a minute. I want you to just let everything go that you're feeling, your emotions, and just drop everything. Okay. So what I'm going to say, it's not an attack. It's an invitation to help you. It's an invitation to step into the version of yourself that your business actually needs. Okay. All right. Here it is. Ready? You do not have a hiring problem. You have a leadership problem. And every time another cleaner goes through your company without fixing your leadership, you are pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Let me repeat that. You do not have a hiring problem. You have a leadership problem. And every time you hire another cleaner without fixing your leadership problem, you're pouring water into a bucket with holes in it, right? With holes in the bottom. And the employees are just flowing out of it, right? I know that's hard to hear. I know it feels unfair. You are working so hard. You are doing everything right that you know how to do. You are posting jobs. You are doing interviews. You are writing checklists, and you're still losing people, right? But hard work without the foundation does not build a team. It builds burnout. So here's what most cleaning business owners actually look like from the outside, okay? And I say this with total love because I was that person. So you're reactive instead of proactive. Something breaks, you fix it. That's reactive. Someone quits, you scramble, right? You have no structure for your team. So every day feels like a new crisis, feels like you're putting out fires all the time. You set unclear expectations. You told them to do a good job, but you never defined what a good job looks like in your company. And then you got frustrated, and then they did not meet your standard because you didn't set a standard, right? Does that make sense? So you hire people out of desperation, a warm body, no standards. You were short-staffed. You were scared. So you took the first warm body who showed up, and then you wonder why it didn't work out. You communicate inconsistently with that new person. Sometimes you check in, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you give feedback, sometimes you stew in silence and you get mad until you explode, and your team never knows which version of you they're getting, okay? And the hardest thing of all is that you never made them feel like they were part of something. They were just filling a slot on your schedule, and people do not stay somewhere where they feel invisible, okay? Does that make sense? Let's see who else on here, right? People don't say when they feel invisible. This is not $100,000 job. They don't say for the money. They stay for us. They stay because they like their bosses. They stay because they like to clean for the most part, obviously, right? And they stay because they like the work and they like their teammates. That's why they stay in this job. They could go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks and make the same amount of money and not break their back. Think about that for a second. They can go anywhere. They can go to TJ Maxx. I don't know if you guys have TJ Maxx around the US, but in Massachusetts we have a TJ Maxx. So they can go anywhere and make the same amount of money, right? But this is all fixable. Everything I just described, it's a skill, and skills can be learned. Leadership is not born, leadership is learned, leadership is built. And you're already doing the work of building one by watching this right now. Okay, so let's talk about what your business will look like in 12 months if nothing changes. I'm going to show you two futures. I've seen this in all the people I coach. I've seen this roll out over and over and over again consistently. So there's two futures, and I want you to feel both of them. Future number one, keep doing what you're doing. You hire, you lose them, you hire again. Your revenue is stuck because you cannot take on more clients without reliable staff. You are back in the field yourself, cleaning houses you swore you would never clean again because you have no choice because the money has to keep coming in. Your client retention suffers because consistency is gone. Your reviews start to slide. Your referrals dry up. Your nights are spent on Indeed posting job listings over and over. Your mornings are spent praying somebody shows up. And you're tired, man. You know you're tired. You're exhausted. You're starting to wonder if this whole business was a mistake and if you're better off going to get a 9-to-5 job. But then you think about going back to a 9-to-5 job when someone else tells you when your breaks are, when your vacations are, when your sick time is. And that's a whole other set of headaches. So you feel like you're stuck. You feel like you're in limbo, right? You've considered quitting and going to get a job, but you're like, I don't know. I kind of have freedom sometimes with this, right? So the worst part is that a lot of people stay in this loop for a long time and they don't change it. And without change, without jumping into an uncomfortable role for a long period of time, you will stay stuck. And that's the reality. How many of you feel like they've been stuck for a while? If you've been stuck for a while, stay stuck. Even if you're doing this on replay, tell me you'll stay stuck. All right? That's a real future. I've seen it happen to so many women. I work with owners that have been in the business for 20 years, 25 years cleaning. This has been going on forever. It's been going on forever. Then I work with people that have maybe only been in a couple of years. It's going on for them too, but they're new to it. So they think eventually it's going to change. It's not going to change unless you make it change. Okay? So that's future number one. Now let's talk about future number two. You do the work. You do the hard work. You learn how to become a better boss. You learn how to lead. You build a real structure inside of your company, and you stop hiring in panic mode and start hiring with a system, right? With actionable steps that they need to follow during the interview process to make sure that they're a right fit, right? You create an environment where people actually want to stay. So 6 months from now, you have a core team of 2 or 3 people that you can genuinely count on, maybe more, maybe 5, 6, 8, right? Your clients are happy. They're leaving reviews. This is awesome. When this happens, right? This is awesome. You are no longer cleaning. You are no longer cleaning. Who was I just talking to was no longer cleaning? Jamie Runco. Jamie Runco, when we first started working together in March, where we got March, April, May, June, right? We just reached July. Just was on a call with her yesterday. She is no longer cleaning. She was still cleaning when we were working together. She is no longer cleaning, and she's killing it. Her numbers, I can't wait to show you what Jamie's been doing. Some of you know her from the podcast. So she's no longer cleaning. She's been in the business a while, but she's finally stepped out. Okay. So this is what I all want from you. This is what I all want for you. Okay. So when this happens, when you're no longer cleaning, now you're working on your business. No, you're no longer carrying a mopping. You're not working in the business. You're answering emails, taking sales calls, building a client base, talking to staff, training them, handling all that while your team is in the field doing the cleaning. Do you know how great of a feeling that is? There's just no better feeling than that. But it takes time to get there, and it takes patience and perseverance and the willingness to be severely uncomfortable for a long period of time. As you're training this, it almost feels like you're in a rat's nest for a little while, right? You have to bear the rat's nest for a while until you can pull out on the other side. And the people I work with that have pulled out to the other side, like the Jamies and the Victorias and the Andreas, and the Belindas, like they have spent a lot of time in the rat's nest. Yeah. They spent a lot of time in the rat's nest, and they vowed to themselves they were going to do it, right? Those are the people. You want to have conversations with your family about what actually looks like when your business works for you. It's a much better view, right? It's a much better view when you don't feel exhausted and stressed and everything. And that future is available to you if you want it bad enough, right? But it requires you to make a decision that most business owners are too afraid to make. You got to stop blaming your team, and you got to start owning your leadership, because leadership starts with you. Every success starts with you. Your decisions starts with you. All right. So I'm going to share something with you that I don't share often about my own company. There was a point where I was building Made Bright and I was ready to quit. I've had those days too. Not the industry, the dream, right? The idea that I could actually build something bigger than myself. I had lost my fourth cleaner in 3 months. 4. Every single time I told myself it was them, it was their work ethic, they sucked, it was the economy, it was bad luck. I came up with anything to justify putting my head down on the pillow and at night and being able to sleep, right? But one day, I was sitting in my car in a client's driveway, about to go clean a house I should not have been cleaning. And I finally said to myself, I asked myself a question that I had been avoiding for months. What is the common denominator in every single one of these situations? And that answer hit me like a truck, because the common denominator was me. I was the one hiring fast out of desperation. I was getting people that did not belong in my company. I was the one giving vague direction and expecting perfect results from my cleaners. I was the one who disappeared when things were going well, and I only showed up when things went wrong, which you got to be present for the good stuff too, right? And I was the one who never made my team feel like they were part of something worth staying for. And the moment that I accepted that truth about my own company, that's when things started to change. Not overnight, not without pain, because I'm not going to tell you this is going to be easy, because it's not. But everything changed when I accepted that, right? And so I started to learn how to lead, not manage, how to truly be a leader that my staff looked up to. And I started showing up differently for my team. I built real systems, real expectations, and a real culture, and the turnover started to slow down. Not completely. There's still turnover in any service industry business. I'm not going to lie to you. Not forever, but the turnover slowed down. The pattern broke. So that revolving door closed. It was like open like this, and then it closed. I didn't close entirely. It's never going to close entirely, but it slowed way down. So there are 3 pillars of cleaning business leadership, right? Let's talk about what you need to do to actually make that shift. Okay, so if you want to write this down, definitely write this down. I'm gonna check in who's in here. Ooh, who's Duncan? How old are you gonna look? Okay, who's Duncan? Who's Duncan Nelson? We gotta take that comment off, Bright Power Wash. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know who you look terrible. So I don't. Anyways, so okay, so before you hire your next person, let's throw my neck here. Before you hire your next person, all right, I want you to think about this clearly in writing. What does an excellent job look like in your company specifically? Okay. What does a new hire's first 30 days look like? day by day? Do you have an onboarding process? What does their first 30 days look like? And what happens when someone does not meet the standard? What happens, right? If you cannot answer these 3 questions right now, you're not ready to hire. You need to come up with these things first. You're ready to set up the next person to fail, and that's on you. And we don't want to do that. We want to get you out of this, okay? We want to get you out of this. Pillar number 2, your communication is what is going to build your loyalty. So here's what most owners do for communication. They send a text when something goes wrong. Yeah, that's it. No check-ins, no recognition, no acknowledgement that that person did something good. Just silence, right? Just when bad stuff is happening, when things are broken, okay? Your team interprets that as criticism, as indifference, and as you not being a good boss, and they quit on you, right? People stay when they feel seen, when they feel heard, when they feel praised, when there's recognition, okay? It costs you nothing to send a message that says, Mrs. Johnson raved about you today. That's exactly who we are, right? And that message is worth more than a raise to the right person. So I'm not asking you to become a therapist or a cheerleader. I'm asking you to be an intentional communicator. Check in with your team on purpose. Give feedback before a crisis happens. Be like, this might happen. Call me if you need me. I tell all of my staff every single morning, if you need me, my phone's right there. Call me, text me. I'm here for you. Any questions? They can reach me at any period of time during the day, right? Obviously when the company is open, when they're active, when they're in the houses and they need questions to be answered, right? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. I'm not asking you to become a therapist or a cheerleader, right? Maybe a little bit of a cheerleader. Maybe a little bit of a cheerleader, right? To pep them up and make them feel good for the day. Okay. Pillar number 3, culture is not an accident. Okay. This is the one that makes owners roll their eyes. I'm a cleaning company. I don't have time for culture. Yes, you do. And you better have time for it, or else your people aren't going to stay. So building a culture is not a ping pong table or pizza or retreat, right? Culture is simply the answer to this question. What does it feel like to work for you? Does it feel chaotic? Does it feel like their efforts are invincible? Does it feel like they're going to get a frantic text every time a client complains? Then think about, put the shoe on the other foot for a second. If all you got was negativity from your boss all the time, why would you want to stay? You're gonna be positive with people, right? So culture is the thing that your team talks about when you're not there, right? And right now, whether you have built it intentionally or not, maybe your company has a little bit of it, maybe it has none. The only question is it working for you or is it working against you? Okay. So what you can start today, I promise you a little tidbit. I promise something you can do today. I always do, to help you make the shift. So here it is. I want you, this is your homework. I want you to write down 3 things that would make you fire someone on the spot. Just non-negotiable for you. Not the annoyances, the deal breakers, the real tough things. I'll give you mine. Stealing. That's a deal breaker if you can prove it. Stealing, okay? So write down your 3 non-negotiables that represent who you are as a company. What will you not tolerate? What will you fire on the spot for? Maybe it's lying to a client. Maybe it's a no call, no show. Maybe it's eating a client's food. That's come close for me. Maybe it's damaging property and hiring it. Whatever it is, whatever the 3 are for you, write them down because everyone has their own way of running a company. Then I want you to flip it. Like at the 3 bad things, right? I want you to write down 3 things that represent your best team members. The behaviors, the attitudes, anything good. The moment that makes you think, this is who I want on my team. This is who I want to promote. This is who I want to be with me for a long time. All right. So do those 3 non-negotiables. I'm going to fire you today. And then do those 3. These are my best people. Okay. Now you have the beginning of your standards document, right? 6 sentences, right? 3 and 3, 6 sentences that define who belongs in your company and who does not. That's your foundation. That's the first brick. in this leadership wall you're about to build, right? It takes 10 minutes. Do that. If you want to send them to me, if you're friends with me on Facebook, or you want to do it on YouTube, you most certainly can. DM me your six good ones, your three good ones, your three bad ones, or write them down on the chats in the comments. I read every comment. Okay. So I want to close with this. You're not failing, you're learning. This is a learning process. All right. And I'm going to say something important. If this training made you uncomfortable, that's exactly what I wanted it to do for you. Discomfort is not failure. Discomfort is the feeling that something is shifting. All right. That doesn't make you a bad business owner because your team hasn't stayed. You're a business owner who has not yet been taught what it actually takes to lead a business. And that's okay. That's not your fault. None of us are born with this. We don't come out of the womb knowing how to run a company, right? No one handed you a playbook for this, right? But now you know. And knowing changes everything because you cannot unsee what you just saw. So the version of you that is going to build the team of your dreams, that person already exists. That person just needs the right tools, the right structure, and someone who has walked that same road to show them the way. That is exactly what I do inside Drop Them Up. Whether you work with me privately, which I only have 2 spots left for privates, or you work with me in the group program, which is every Thursday night, which is a small group of owners. We go deep on leadership. We go deep on systems. We go deep on the version of you in your business that needs the most help. All right. And we do it with a small intentional group of mostly women, actually. I do work with men. I love to work with men, but the women are attracted to working with me. So in the group program, I take no more than 7 people. Okay, I keep the cohort small so people can get the most out of it and get the attention they need. The owners who commit, I'm going to tell you a story in a second. The owners who commit get fantastic results. I want to talk about Andrea Masvelton for 1 second. Andrea and I have been working together for, that's got to be what, year and a half? Going on a year and a half. Came to me making $10,000 a month. She just messaged me today, and this is so exciting. And we're going to blast it all over the page. She just messaged me today. She just had her first $42,000 month. That's big. That's big. She's barely cleaning. She's popping in and out, checking on her teams, and she has been in the process of being in the rat's nest, hiring people quitting, firing people. One person stole. She's in the rat's nest right now, but that's okay because she's growing and she's not cleaning anymore. As you just said, $42,000. She's learning her leadership, and she can tell you that if you don't fix the leadership, the same problems are going to keep happening. The revolving door of people is going to keep happening, and you're going to be frustrated, and you're going to eventually want to quit. She's had some days where she's cried. She's had some days where she's want to quit. She is in Sisters Elite, which is my graduate program after Drop Them Up. I have a couple of ways that you can work with me. She graduated from Drop Them Up, got her fundamentals when she was at $10,000 a month. She just now at $42,000 a month, baby. That's pretty badass. But that didn't take with consistent focus, determination, and showing up. She showed up. She stayed with me. She stayed with me for a while. That's a lot of freaking money to make, right? It's a lot of freaking money, but she's putting her time in. She's coming to Rise Retreat in September, which is my once a year in-person retreat. She's coming. She gets in the same room with all motivated individuals. The people that do the best are the people that are consistent, that show up, and that surround themselves with people that are doing better than them. That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. No other way. It's not done from bitching. It's not done from crying. It's not done from making excuses and pointing the fingers. It's not. It's fixing your leadership and taking 100% accountability and ownership for your business. That is how it's done. So if you're not there yet, it's okay. Take that exercise I gave you. Do it today. Share this video with another cleaning business owner who needs to hear this, right? And show me some love. Subscribe. I go live every single week. I love you all. I believe in all of you. And I will see you on the next one. If you're interested in hearing more about Drop Them Up, I'm going to put a link at the bottom of the the video, and you can always contact me on DM. All right, everyone, have an amazing day. Hope this was helpful. Hey, Misa. That's what I call you. I call you Misa because I don't know how to say it. All right, everyone. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. I'm going to go enjoy the beach. I'm at the beach for 4 weeks. All right, everyone. Peace out. See you next week. Bye.